Previously on Leafing Around, we learned all about potting media, 13 to be exact, understanding the attributes of each and why and how to use them. Then I was going to get into...
Okay, we have come to a very exciting part of the segment, one I think you have been waiting for, and this is to know exactly what goes into the potting media for your philodendrons, for your anthurium, for alocasia.
When a dashing young man came and distracted me with new plants. Today, we continue to bring you the big reveal on my AROID MIX recipe, and might as well pick up the brain of that Ducati bite plant guy.
Since I have the benefit of my friend here, June, on delivering some plants for me, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I'd like to introduce him a little. I have learned so much from June. He's a bit of a plant nerd. His knowledge is really overwhelming, and I have to say half the time I don't know what you're talking about, but I've learned a lot from him.
I'm not a plant freak, but I'm more of a hobbyist. But I've been researching on plants quite a bit on my own.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes we read too much and we just absorb everything just like a sponge.
Yes. So you've called me on a day I'm filming about potting media, and this is great. If there is something that you could share with the viewers here on plants and potting media? I know this is a very big question, but what would be the thing that you wanna share?
Well, very important for us to know whether the plant is a type of terrestrial plants, or they grow from ground, they are able to climb above a tree, or they are just naturally growing on the tree itself. So the first type we'll be talking about terrestrial plants, which is plants that grow on the ground, earth, or what we call as above the organic matter. And then we have plants that they drop seeds on the ground, and then slowly they grow roots and they slowly climb above a tree or a vertical surface. We call those semi-epiphytes. And then we have plants that naturally they just grow on vertical surface, on top of trees or on top of a rocky surface. Those are epiphytes. So usually we just based on how they grow naturally in nature, their habitat, then we will see what type of medium do we usually use. Like as for terrestrial plants, we have a surface of what you call organic matters. So these are the things that drop from the trees, the fruits, the leaves, the twigs, and all these things that were decomposing on top of the surface of the soil, which is on the ground naturally. So these things are called organic matters, plant organic matters. So we'll usually use these for terrestrial plants. So semi-epiphyte plants, they would be those seeds that drop from the trees, and then they grow roots into the ground and slowly they make their way up a tree. Semi-epiphytes, they would require quite a bit of organic matters for the plant to grow.
But not as much as the terrestrial, you would say?
Not as much as those as terrestrial. So basically I would say terrestrial plants are more acidic loving plants. Yes. Good. So we have those which are growing on surfaces of vertical surfaces. Those would be more of a neutral to alkaline kind of pH preference plants.
So a lot of anthuriums then you would consider epiphytes? And
no, I wouldn't say which types are more of the terrestrial or epiphyte, but they have certain plants that grow on the ground. They have like semi-epiphyte, they also have epiphytes. So it's very much important for us to know like where these plants come from, where are they growing in the nature.
So then we would build a mix that would emulate as close as possible to the natural habitat.
Yes, then from that point we would have much lesser maintenance work to do. Yeah, most of the time we just don't want to waste time growing plants and having to headache about their growing habitat, how are they doing. So it's much better if we follow how they are grown in nature.
So with the logic of that, something that's terrestrial, you say we could put more organic matter? Yeah.
So it
would be like what, the peat moss?
Yeah, we can go through the mediums here. Firstly, we have the what is this called? Is this a peat moss?
That's a vermiculite.
This is a vermicast. Okay, vermicast mostly we would say that they are a type of ground things, like grounded stuff that's organic material. And then we can also identify them as what you call breakdown by the decomposing insects, things that they will assist in decomposing these kind of things. Then this would be what we call as a terrestrial kind of organic material, which is more suitable for ground growing plants.
Okay.
Okay, then next we have this is a peat moss, is it?
Yes.
Yeah, peat moss is mainly they are found usually in peat bog. We call it peat bog, where all these plants they decompose in the lowland, and then over years they just decompose, and slowly they sink underneath with the water on top, and it becomes a peat bog. Usually these are what we call as marshlands. Marshland. They are found in marshland. And Malaysia we have a lot of peat bogs, and these are called the important places where all these kind of material they are found, and it's very valuable in terms of what we call as natural resources.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's not renewable.
It's non-renewable, and it's something that we should appreciate very much. You know.
So June, I want to ask your opinion about peat moss or coco peat. Which do you use and why?
Well, peat, in terms of calling it peat, means to be decomposed, or maybe like a powdered form of organic material.
Wait, that's mosquito.
You must be good at mosquito clapping. Well, peat must be kind of a powdered form of what we call a very rough breakdown of organic material. Okay, you have coco peat, you have what you call peat moss. Moss means it's made out of moss. That means moss that's broken down over years. So coco peat means to have coconut husk or coconut plant material grinded and powdered into dust. Then we call it as a peat, coco peat.
Yes.
Yes.
And which one do you use?
Which one do I use would be based on how would I want my mix to be. Because some of the plants, they prefer more moisture retention.
And then you would go for
Peat moss.
okay.
And then if you're using coco peat, there's benefit and that's called pros and cons. If you use coco peat too much, over time they break down. If it's too wet, they break down very fast, maybe about a year, half a year. Then it will become from what you call turn from natural pH, like a balanced pH, become to be acidic.
Okay, I did not know
Yes,
this.
yes, indeed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they do degrade and decompose, whereas that has already been
Actually, both of the things are called decomposed plant material. Organic matter means to be plant material, things that are grown from living things, like let's say plant fibers. Plant fibers decompose and they become peat. So generally saying peat is decomposed plant material.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to stop you here because June can go on forever about anything I ask.
There's no end to it. There's no end to it, and you know it.
Yes.
I tried to explain this many times to you.
I know. At least I remember something. So I'm going to offer you what I use when I'm potting an aroid. In general, quite a generous amount of pumice and then charcoal, and you know what they are for aeration, and then for antibacterial properties, and then this organic material, maybe about just 30% for where I am because it's very warm and humid where I am. And this is a vermicast, coco peat,
Oops, dusty.
a little bit of a burnt rice husk, and I would chuck in a little bit of dolomite on top at the end. So, June, what do you reckon?
Actually, it's 30%. When you were referring 30%, were you referring to 30% of organic material?
Yes, yeah.
That is a very good indication, like where we start from. Usually 30% organic material is what I would do. So 10 to 30 is a very good ratio.
This is good. We did not pre-discuss this.
Yes, really. So generally I would say 10% to 30% mix within a pot what we call a pot full medium mix. It's not the whole pot length we are talking about. We are talking about just the mix itself. 30% of the mix itself is organic material.
Yeah.
So this is a very good ratio. We have a good ratio of pumice. Pumice is good for aeration, ventilation, and also drainage.
Yeah.
We have charcoal. Charcoal is very good for what we call as chemical absorbent, and it also has very good drainage. And also the dust of the what we call the charcoal, they would act as a antibacterial or antifungal dust to kill off these fungal and bacteria as well.
It's a good thing he's saying the same stuff
Yes,
as it.
yes, and this is very important. So the 30% of the organic mix, as in the top part over here, we would say these are the things that are called organic materials. Organic materials are required because they release what we call as humic acid and tannic acid. Tannic acid and humic acid is kind of what we call as a what is that word called?
Enzyme?
Enzyme is one thing, and then the other one, nutrients, one more. We have that word, hormone kind of things that they trigger for plant growth. It triggers plant growth actually, we will say. It triggers plant growth. So in a way that this organic material will have a reaction with the inorganic material, which are the pumice, or maybe you have perlite, you have lava rock or things like that. It would create a new what you call a chemical reaction and release nutrients for plants.
Okay.
All right.
Good.
Are we clear from here?
I think we could do another video just about nutrients. Okay, now I want to take a look at this potting media, this premix ones. Let's have a look at this one that's called the Magical AROID Mix.
What do we have here?
It's a
from
general
the plant.
purpose from the plant doctor. Let's pour it out here and see what it has.
Looks good.
Looks good. All
Sorry,
right,
but
that's enough.
I don't buy
Premix.
I prefer my own mix. For some people, we would do our own mix. Like we tested many things.
Yeah, it's like your fried rice, you know, how you like it.
Yeah.
So there's bark.
Yeah. So that's your carrot.
The organic material is the bark. I think there is, you know, the ingredients are written.
Let's break down. We don't look at the ingredients over there. We can just do this just by eyeballing. We have cocoa chips, coconut chunks, charcoal. We have perlite, white colored perlite.
Yeah.
We have active carbon. Active carbon is also known as activated carbon. Is also charcoal, burn material, burn wood. And then we have certain. I think we have wood chips as well.
Yes.
Wood chips. And then what else? We have vermicast.
That's for the nutrients.
And I see peat, some peat and some cocoa peat as well.
Really?
Well, I would say we are almost there, okay?
What does it have?
Yeah, we have vermicast compost, perlite, shredded cocoa husk, rice husk. I don't see rice husk.
No,
I think they're too
the person
fine.
who made it said he has excluded rice husk because he found that it disintegrates too fast.
Okay, then they have pumice. Yeah, there's certainly pumice over there. There are pine wood bugs as well. So we are right. We are right on spot.
I'm feeling very comfortable to put my
Yes,
aroids in this.
for starters, I think most of the beginner growers buying a good mix like this. I think this is a very good mix. This Magical AROID
It's
soil
called
mix.
Magical AROID.
Yeah, that plant doctor did a very good job.
Oh,
yeah.
a lot when it's coming
This is
from
not
him.
paid, okay, but this is a very good mix, I would say.
Yeah, we're not paid.
Yeah, I'm not professional, but this is good for me. I think this is quite well mixed.
Okay.
So for this, what do you want to plant? Are you gonna plant your new stuff or something?
Yes, the plant you brought for me just now that I have just ordered. My latest purchase. It's a bit of a splurge.
She's a plant hoarder.
Don't ask me how much, please.
She's a plant hoarder.
So in this pot.
Yeah.
So
we have this very nice plant over here.
I know we want to put a bit more pumice at the bottom.
Yep. So let's take out the pumice first, maybe. Then we would proceed.
Okay, so I have extra large size. Then it helps to cover up the drainage hole as well, I suppose.
So as a start, we would say, let's go into potting right now, okay? This is actually very spontaneous. I have no idea what I'm doing, so sorry, Irene. But so we have a pot. Basically, any pot we would do, we would just place this in layer. Okay, we'll place this in layer, and it will be easier for most of the people to know how potting should be done. This is
Layer.
portion.
Let me get a transparent pot.
Layer.
Chotomate.
Cool.
Okay, we can't find transparent pot, so he will illustrate using this jar.
Hi.
Okay, do you
So we will start like this. Let's do this as a pot, okay? And then Irene will do that on her pot for her plant. So usually we do layers. We start off with very chunky stuff at the bottom. Yeah. So chunky bits at the bottom. This would be the drainage for your plant, okay? So we have pumice inside there, and then we follow by the what you want to do. This is a okay. Let's also talk about the plant a bit, right? So this is actually a terrestrial philodendron. You call this a semi-epiphyte. It would climb if given a very good what you call a pillar or some vertical surface. It would climb, but most of the time they will grow on ground. So as a semi-epiphyte, we would want to use a rather more what you call organic mix, but lesser than terrestrial. Okay, so now we could carry on with the charcoal. We would go charcoal. Okay, charcoal or activated carbon, we'll call this. So usually we say we want a very good layering, correct? So you need to cover that on the top. Okay, why we want to do layering is because we don't want the nutrients on the top of the pot to leak off, or what you call as leach off from the bottom. So we need to make sure that we have layers of mediums so that we can ensure that the nutrients retain in the pot for the plant. Okay, so now we have very chunky pumice at the bottom, and then we have some powdered activated carbon on top of the pumice. So we carry on with our third item to put in. Okay, so now we want something that can retain a bit of moisture. Cocoa chips is a very good start also. You can have cocoa chips inside, we can have wood chips inside as well, but I would prefer cocoa peat. Some cocoa peat. Yeah, we can use cocoa peat.
and
We can mix cocoa peat.
Okay, I've just realized that our mic wasn't working for just now. So what we have done is we have, after layering the pumice and charcoal, we added some of basically these sort of mix.
Pre-mix.
So the smaller particles on top, and then we top it off with larger chunks so that the plant does not fall off. Okay, now there's one last potting I want to do, which is the Alocasia. So, so this stingray has a baby, so I'm gonna take it out and pot it in. I think there's a pot somewhere.
You want a small
small
pot?
Black pot.
Good enough?
I think so. Okay. So we dig this out.
Do we need that?
How do you do it?
So usually when I do this, I do it very generously. Just dig out whatever the roots inside there. You see?
Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes your hand works better than tools.
Okay.
But put on glove, right?
Yeah, you're supposed to put on glass
Yeah.
because you don't know what could be in there that would bite you. Okay, so for Alocasia, let's see the potting mix here.
So that plant doctor did another mix for Alocasia.
And let's look at his Alocasia mix. It looks very chunky.
Very good mix
A
actually.
lot of
Very good
perlite.
mix.
It looks like about 80%
Yeah,
non-organic.
it says here pumice,
Yeah.
horticulture dolomite.
Oh, dolomite, see?
Yes.
We're not-
Vermiculite, Epsom salt. Epsom salt is also a source of magnesium, and biocompost. Biocompost as in plant material, organic plant material.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you eyeball it, it's looking like 80% inorganic. So, good.
inorganic or yeah, okay.
Right.
Inorganic material as in non-plant material. Okay.
Yeah.
So as a start,
But
same
at
thing.
the start, we
Same thing.
like to put some chunkier stuff at the bottom.
Okay. Same thing. We start off as with this chunky stuff at the bottom. Okay.
This is like cooking. I don't actually cook, but it's still good.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you want to show your
I don't
view?
think you can see it so dark. They're all-
Okay, but I would tell you that very briefly, like what we see over here is at the bottom, 50% of the pot height, okay, would be the chunky mix, the chunky material for draining. Okay, just 50%, 40% of the pot height would be a very good indication. Okay, so next, what do you want to do?
We can
What
put
you
this
should
in.
do for any plant, what you call planting, during planting, this time when repotting, you would want a bit of this inside first. Like you want to lay a layer of this inside first. This is where the roots develop. Okay, you want the plant roots to develop over here. So you want a bit of this.
For it to grip on.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then you put the plant in.
Yeah.
Okay, you put the plant in. Come on, don't worry.
And
So now we have all this mixed inside here. Done.
yay!
We're done. Usually you tap. Don't do that.
What?
Don't do that.
Compress
Don't
that.
compress your plant.
Yeah,
Okay. When you want to
compress
compress your plant, you will damage the roots.
Oh.
So the best way to do it, tap your pot. Tap your pot. Okay.
Okay, this I did not know.
So now you know. Don't let me catch you doing that again. So when you tap your pot, the final mix they will sit in like compact itself. Okay. So now you have a well potted.
Yay! I
Okay,
can
so-
put it up for sale.
Oh.
Oh my god, it's not very
So what you want to do for anchoring? You
okay,
have
I
something?
remember. Yeah,
Uh,
more pumice.
yeah, pumice, it is good for using it as an anchor to hold the plant in place so that it allows the plant to develop healthier roots over time. But it's also okay if you decided that okay, the plant has withered, you want to throw it off later on, or you want to reuse it for your other plants, you can do that as well.
You know what we forgot?
What?
We forgot these leaves and twigs.
You mean topping up with plant,
Yeah, I
organic
like to
plant material.
do.
Okay.
You know, think that they have a bit of their home with them. because
Yes,
They came
yes.
from the forest floor, so
Yes.
I like to give it a bit of a bark.
It's alright. I mean, you can use it because it's what we call as topping, or what you call as mulching. The term is mulching. Mulching is something that you put on top of the ground and then you don't want grass to grow on it.
Yes.
Yes, you
Bit of
can use
that.
this as well. So in a way, this is actually a slow release nutrient for the plant.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
So you get your tannic acid, your humic acid kind of nutrients from plants, your plant fibers. So these are very good moisture retaining mediums as well.
There. Good. It's
Perfect
happy
planting.
now.
Are you happy? Are you happy
I'm
right
happy. I think
Okay.
Okay. Good. Thank you very much, June.
Thank you for your time.
I think
Thank you for my time.
yeah. You didn't know you're gonna stay on for an extra like half an hour.
Really? Took too long.
Yeah.
But it's good enough. It's good enough.
So I hope you have learned lots about potting media and how to pot your aroids. If you enjoyed this episode, please feel free to like it and share it with others. And I will see you in my next video. Till then,
Bye bye.
bye bye.